everyone. In this session, we are going to explore the next concepts related to association analysis. That is a priori principle. So just as a brush up, in the previous session, that is in association analysis part 2, we have seen that the major drawback of brute force approach can be overcome by decomposing the problem into two major tasks. The first one is frequent item set generation and the next one is rule generation. So the major objective of the frequent item set generation is to identify those item sets which is going to satisfy the minimum support threshold. So the better manner we try to seek the frequent item set, it is going to aid in faster computation. So getting back to our flow chart of association rule mining. In the flow chart in every series, I have highlighted the topics whichever has been completed in a sort of gradient red, and whichever topic I am dealing currently in this session, I have highlighted in green. So the topic for today's session is frequent item set generation. As I was mentioning, the main aim behind frequent item set generation is to reduce the number of candidate item set through a priori principle, or rather trying to seek out the frequent item sets by applying the a priori principle. So in order to enable the frequent item set generation, a lattice structure is used to list out all possible candidate item sets in any particular problem domain. So the diagram over here depicts a lattice structure that is used to enumerate the list of all possible item sets. So for example, the domain of items that has been considered is nothing but A, B, C, D and E. So when we take this lattice structure, we get to know level 1 is going to deal with single items. Level 2 deals with combination of 2 items. Level 3, combination of 3 items. Level 4, combination of 4 items. And finally, level 5, combination of all the 5 items. So in this lattice structure, every node is going to represent a candidate item set. So candidate item set, it basically represents all possible combinations of items with respect to the market database we have considered. So if we consider this set as A, B, C, D, E. So here each and every candidate item set is going to represent the subsets of the combinations of these items. So as we all know, out of these items, or rather from this collection, we need to pick out the frequent item set. So frequent item sets are going to be those candidate item set which satisfy the minimum support value, which is going to have the support value greater than or equal to the minimum support value. So the lattice structure tries to overcome the drawback of the brute force approach. Now, having listed out all these candidate item set, in order to predict the frequent item set in a better manner, in an easier manner, we go for utilizing a priori principle. So prior to that, as usual, as I was mentioning, in any new approach, the basic approach followed is nothing but the brute force approach. So having generated the lattice and having got an idea about the candidate item set, thereafter, when I go for trying to identify the frequent item set, I can do it by considering, or rather comparing each and every candidate item set support with the respective support, minimum support threshold. But again, this is not going to be an effective approach when we are going to have number of transactions, multiple transactions and a voluminous data in hand. So what is more important for us is trying to reduce the candidate item set that has been identified through the lattice approach. Though we have lot many candidate item set, there is no need to consider each and every candidate item set in order to predict whether it is a frequent item set or not. So major aim is to reduce the number of candidate item set and to reduce the number of comparison. So this step of reducing the number of candidate item set is performed by making use of a priori principle. So we are entering into a priori principle. That's why I have highlighted it in green. Currently we are in a priori principle. So a priori principle is a very, very simple and a very direct approach. So a priori principle just deals with the fact that if any one particular item set is found to be infrequent, then all its supersets also would be infrequent. Equally, if an item set is found to be frequent, then all its subsets must also be frequent. So basically, a priori principle deals with pruning. Pruning typically means removing, discarding the candidate item sets by conserving the support value. But while calculating the support value, it follows one direct approach. For say, if I get to know that CDE, okay, through some measure, I went over here directly and I've calculated the support value of CDE, and I got to know the support of CDE is greater than the minimum support threshold. So if that is a condition, then there is no need for calculating the support value for any of the subsets of CDE. It's pretty much understood that all of its subsets will be frequent. That is a major approach in a priori principle. That is what has been explained over here. So since CDE is frequent, all its subsets are going to be frequent. Equally, the other way around. Okay, just to tell it like in a converse manner, if any particular item set is found to be infrequent, for example, if we consider AB, okay, two item set. If AB itself is infrequent, whatever particular item you are going to add on to this AB, in order to make it one more increased number of item set, means from 2 item set, I'm trying to move it to 3 item set, from 3 to 4, 4 to 5. So since 2 item set itself is infrequent, obviously its supersets will be infrequent, in which case I go for pruning all these item sets from my lattice structure. So it's going to be very easy for me to prune or to remove the candidate item set which doesn't satisfy the minimum support threshold over here. Pruning is going to be very easy. So since the pruning is applied in a direct manner, trying to identify the frequent item set goes very easy than the other approaches. So the support based pruning is based on the anti-monotone property. So what is this anti-monotone property? Support for an item set never exceeds the support for its subsets. Just a way of redefining the a priori principle. So that is what, once again I'm repeating the example. If a comma b is found to be infrequent, there is no need to calculate the support value for any of its superset. Blindly we can go for pruning all the supersets of AB, candidate item set. Yes, so the anti-monotone property, we have just seen it. Here there is a mathematical representation of it. So how the frequent item set is going to be generated using the a priori algorithm. So first and foremost in a priori algorithm, we go for generating the set of candidate k item set. So having identified the candidate k item set, which is nothing but our basic lattice structure, which means when I tell we are trying to develop the candidate item set, means we are trying to draw this lattice structure. So having identified the candidate k item set, and we need to identify obviously the frequent item set. So in a priori principle, the notation CK, okay, C subscript K is used to denote the set of candidate K item set, and FK denotes the set of frequent K item set. So the algorithm first and foremost, it makes the first pass over the lattice structure. It tries to pick out all frequent one item set. So once a frequent one item set is found, it's easy for us to apply the a priori principle. There is meaning in going for the next candidate two item set. In candidate one item set itself, if any particular candidate is getting removed, for example, if A and C itself is not satisfying our minimum support count, then obviously I need not proceed for any further candidate item set generation through A and C. It's pretty much clear. So first, frequent one item sets are generated. Whichever is not satisfying the minimum support threshold, those single candidate item sets are pruned, and henceforth the remaining alone is concentrated upon. So it's very simple and easy. This is how the algorithm goes. So if you just initialize K to be 1, the first level F1, okay, as I discussed just now, F1, the frequent one item set is going to be the set of all items which satisfies the minimum support threshold. So that's what its support count should be greater than or equal to the minimum support. Then we keep on repeating. Only for those candidate one item set whose support is greater than or equal to the minimum support alone, I go for moving to the next level. I go for adding some more item to this existing candidate item set. So I move into the candidate 2 item set. So again in candidate 2 item set, it's a repetition. So in candidate 2 item set, again I call in my a priori generation function. So wherein in that, I go for checking which are the candidates which satisfy the support count. Then I prune it or I continue. So like this, we keep on proceeding and we keep on incrementing the support count of the respective candidate items. And we finally end it when all the item sets in the lattice has been covered. And once we have pruned any item set, by default, the number reduces over there. Yes, so here is a example. I've taken few examples to demonstrate how a priori principle works. So initially, every item is considered as a candidate one item set, as I mentioned. So this is our market basket transaction. So from this, I consider all items as item one item set. So bread, coke, milk, beer, diaper, and eggs. So if you get to know, if you see the count like this, and our understanding is one and the same. The minimum support threshold is going to be 3. So we get to know there are few items which are getting discarded from here. For example, it is going to be cola and egg, means coke and egg. So coke and egg is going to get discarded because it is not satisfying the minimum support value. So if you consider every support together, okay, now a brute force approach, if we take this calculation alone would have taken 41 steps, okay, or 41 comparisons. But with support based pruning, it has pretty much reduced to 16. Yes. So in the next iteration, we got to know that 2 items has been removed. It has been pruned, that is nothing but coke or egg. So any combination with respect to coke or eggs need not be considered. So we are just going to move to create candidate 2 item set, which are going to involve only bread, milk, beer, and diaper. So with these combinations, when I take, again I get to know there are few items which doesn't satisfy my minimum support threshold of 3. That is out of the 6 candidates, we get to know beer, bread and beer, milk are not satisfying the support value. So there are only 4 candidate items which are left out to be the frequent item set in level 2. Similarly, here if you see the support based pruning, okay, it's going to reduce only to 16 comparisons. It's quite obvious. So generation of candidate 3 item set, if we see, as said in the previous one, few are going to get removed, few are getting pruned. So the left outs are going to be only bread, milk, bread, diaper, milk, diaper, and beer, diaper. The remaining 2 candidate 2 item sets are very minimal than the minimum support threshold. So considering these, okay, values as bread, milk, bread, diaper, milk, diaper, and beer, diaper only as a frequent item set, we go to the next level. That is nothing but level 3. So in level 3, we try to form candidate 3 item set using these combinations. So it is like almost like bread, milk with beer and diaper. So bread, milk with beer and diaper. Similarly, bread, diaper with the other left out, milk, diaper with the other left out, and goes on. So when we do this, we get to know, okay, after removing the redundancy, we get to know these are going to be the candidate 3 item set in level 3. So in this candidate 3 item set, again, when we perform the support count calculation, when you compare this with the market basket database, you will get to know that bread, diaper, milk is not going to satisfy our minimum support value. So that is going to be pruned, and obviously left out are going to be only these 3. Similarly, here again, it is only 16 steps over here. So the last calculation, finally, when it comes to the triplet count, okay, the left out is going to be only bread, diaper, milk. So the finally, if you see the support based pruning, it is going to lead to only 13 overall computations. Okay, it is minimized from 41 to 13. In brute force approach, it was 41 steps or calculations or comparisons needed. On the other hand, over here, it is only 13 comparisons which are needed. Yes. So the a priori principle illustration is very simple over here. So the diagram depicts the fact that the a priori principle leads to 68% reduction in the number of candidate items at generation as well as the comparisons. And the frequent items at generation part has 2 important characteristics. First and foremost, it is a level-wise algorithm. Next one is it just employs the concept of generate and test. Generate and test means start generating all the candidate item set and then test the candidate item set for the minimum support threshold and then generate the frequent item set from there. So this is how the whole a priori principle works. So it's a very, very simple algorithm to just put in a nutshell, a quick revision. We are just trying to create the lattice over here. I'll just move to the very beginning. So we are just creating the lattice structure, okay, of all the candidate items. Having created the lattice structure of candidate item, next important concept we are going to apply is nothing but the pruning. So when it comes to pruning, we are applying only one simple concept. If an item set is frequent, then all of its subset must also be frequent. Conversely, if an item set is infrequent, then all of its superset must be infrequent. These two things you have to remember very well. So based on the support-based pruning, okay, we start applying the a priori algorithm. So what the a priori algorithm does is, first and foremost, it tries to concentrate in generating level 1, means candidate 1 item set. So out of all the candidate 1 item set, it is going to prune those items which doesn't satisfy the minimum support threshold. After pruning, by utilizing the left out items alone, we go for generating candidate 2 item set. The same generate and test applies for every level, level 2, level 3, level 4, and finally we reach into level 5. So in every level, we try to minimize the candidate item set generated to the next level, because in the beginning level itself, we are going to prune off the candidate item set which doesn't satisfy the minimum support count. So easily the next step of generating further candidate item set, there itself the computation gets reduced, and the computation related to frequent item set generation is also improved to a great extent in a priori principle. Yes. So the next concepts we can see in part 4, association analysis, part 4. Thank you.